What if tomorrow never comes? Or worse, what if it comes but we aren't ready for it? This is the story of Aarav, a boy who feared the future so much that he forgot to live the present. But one stormy night, a stranger's words changed his life and taught him that hope doesn't wait for tomorrow. It begins today. Aarav sat by his bedroom window, the city lights flickering like restless stars. His mind was louder than the traffic outside. He was 21, a final-year university student, and a prisoner of his own thoughts. Every night before sleeping, a question haunted him. What if I fail? What if the job he dreamed of never came? What if his father's sacrifices went in vain? What if tomorrow destroyed everything he was building today? His friends called him a thinker, but in truth, Aarav was a worrier, a man trapped between yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's uncertainties. The more he tried to plan his life, the more lost he felt. He read motivational books, watched endless videos, and wrote affirmations on sticky notes. But no matter how loud his affirmations were, his fear whispered louder. You're not enough. It was the night before his final presentation, a moment that could secure his career. His classmates were asleep, but Aarav stared at his laptop, unable to breathe. His slides looked fine, his speech was rehearsed, yet a strange emptiness filled his chest. He closed his eyes and whispered, "What if I forget everything tomorrow?" A knock on the door broke the silence. It was his roommate, Rishi, always cheerful, always spontaneous. "Still awake?" Rishi grinned. Aarav nodded weakly. "Yeah, just thinking." Rishi looked at him for a moment. "You're not thinking, Aarav, you're fearing." Aarav frowned. "Easy for you to say. You don't worry about the future." Rishi shrugged. "Because I know the future won't care how much I worried today." Before Aarav could reply, Rishi patted his shoulder. "Get some sleep, man. You'll survive tomorrow. You always do." And then he left, leaving behind words that echoed louder than the silence. You'll survive tomorrow. But Aarav didn't want to survive. He wanted to live. The next morning, the auditorium was packed. Dozens of students presented before a panel of judges. Aarav's turn was last. When his name was called, his heartbeat thundered. He walked to the stage, palms trembling, throat dry. He plugged in his laptop. And suddenly the screen froze. A wave of panic hit him. The judges exchanged impatient looks. His slides disappeared. His backup drive failed, and the crowd began whispering. He stood frozen. His mind screamed, "You failed!" He tried to speak, but words betrayed him. The judges moved on. His chance was gone. That night he didn't go home. He wandered through empty streets, his dreams collapsing under the weight of self-doubt. The rain began to fall, cold and merciless, washing away his tears. He sat beneath a flickering streetlight, his soaked clothes clinging to his skin. The city kept moving, unaware of the storm inside him. And for the first time, Aarav whispered aloud, "Maybe I'm not meant for tomorrow." A soft voice broke through the rainfall. "Mind if I sit?" An old man in a brown coat stood beside him, holding a small umbrella. Aarav nodded silently. The stranger sat beside him, looking up at the sky. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" Aarav almost laughed. "Beautiful." "It's pouring." The man smiled. "Yes, but it's washing the dust off everything." They sat in silence for a moment before the man asked, "You look like someone who's lost something." Aarav sighed. "I lost my future." The man chuckled softly. "Strange. I've lived 70 years, and I've never met anyone who actually had the future." Aarav frowned. "What do you mean?" The man looked at him. "We don't own tomorrow, son. We only borrow it, one sunrise at a time. And we must return it every night." Aarav stared at the ground. "You don't understand. I worked so hard. I failed my presentation. My career is over." The old man leaned closer. "Tell me, did your effort vanish with that presentation?" "No, but did your courage vanish?" "So no, then how can your future be gone? You lost an event, not your essence." The man's eyes gleamed. "Do you know what fear of tomorrow really is? It's the mind's way of saying it doesn't trust the heart." Aarav looked up. "So what do I do?" The man smiled kindly. "Start trusting your heart again. Hope isn't a feeling that comes from success. It's a decision you make before success." When Aarav returned home, he felt different. He didn't have answers, just a strange sense of peace. The old man's words echoed in his mind. Hope is a decision. He sat at his desk, staring at his failed project. For the first time, he didn't delete it. He analyzed it, learned from it. He realized his fear had made him prepare for perfection, not for progress. Over the next few days, he redid his project, not for grades, but for growth. He submitted it again privately to his professor, explaining the failure and what he learned from it. His professor read the note carefully. You know, Aarav, most students try to hide their mistakes. But you turned yours into a mirror. That takes courage, she smiled. Let's see how far you can go with this new version. Months passed. Aarav graduated, though not with top honors. He didn't land a dream job immediately, but something inside him had changed. His relationship with time itself. Instead of fearing the future, he started building it. One small act of faith at a time. He began volunteering for community projects, helping underprivileged children with education. There, he met children who had nothing, no laptops, no fancy degrees, yet their eyes sparkled with dreams brighter than his fears. One little girl, Mira, once asked him, Paya, why are you always smiling when you teach? Aarav chuckled. Because when I teach you, I forget to be scared. She tilted her head. Scared of what? He paused. Tomorrow. She smiled innocently. Then don't think of tomorrow. Think of next smile. That line struck him harder than any philosophy ever could. Think of the next smile. 2 years later, Aarav started his own small educational startup, helping rural schools with digital learning kits. It wasn't glamorous. Funding was low, and setbacks were many. But for the first time, Aarav didn't fear them. Every failure became a lesson. Every slow day became a prayer. One evening, while setting up computers in a remote village, he received a call. It was his university. They wanted him as a guest speaker for a seminar titled The Fear of Tomorrow. He laughed softly. Funny, that used to be my biggest enemy. When Aarav stepped onto the same stage where he once froze in fear, memories flooded back. The silence, the failure, the rain. But now the same stage felt sacred. He looked at the students and began. 2 years ago, I stood here and failed. I thought my future ended that day, but I was wrong. My failure didn't break me, it introduced me to myself. The audience listened quietly. You see, we all fear tomorrow, because we imagine it as a test we might fail. But tomorrow isn't a test, it's a gift, one we unwrap with today's actions. Fear kills dreams faster than failure ever could. I learned that hope isn't about knowing everything will be fine. It's about believing that you will be fine, no matter what happens. He paused, his voice softening. If you're scared of what's coming next, remember, the future isn't a monster waiting to devour you. It's a canvas waiting for your first stroke of courage. The crowd erupted in applause. Some students had tears in their eyes. For many, those words were more than inspiration. They were a mirror. After the speech, as Aarav walked out of the auditorium, he noticed an old man leaning against a pillar. The same brown coat, the same gentle smile. Aarav's heart skipped a beat. He walked toward him. You were that night in the rain. The man chuckled. Oh, you remember. Aarav nodded eagerly. You changed my life. I never got to thank you. The man smiled faintly. You already did when you started changing someone else's. Aarav looked puzzled. Who are you really? The old man winked. Let's just say I was once afraid of tomorrow too. Now I spend my days reminding others that today still matters. And just like that, he walked away, disappearing into the crowd like a forgotten prayer fulfilled. That night, Aarav sat again by his window, the same city lights outside, but a completely different heart inside. He opened his notebook and wrote, Fear is the shadow of imagination. Hope is the light that erases it. He realized that every time he worried about tomorrow, he was stealing peace from today. And every time he acted with faith, even a tiny one, he built a bridge toward a better tomorrow. He smiled, whispering to himself, maybe tomorrow will still scare me sometimes. But I'll meet it with hope, not fear. As dawn arrived, Aarav watched the sun rise, golden, soft, and alive. The city woke up again, just as it always did. But this time Aarav didn't see chaos. He saw possibility, and somewhere deep inside, the boy who once feared tomorrow finally learned to live today. Moral: fear of the future is natural, but surrendering to it is a choice. Hope is not waiting for the storm to pass. It's learning to dance in the rain. Your future doesn't begin tomorrow. It begins today with one act of courage.